everyone, and welcome to Spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am your host, Joel, and with me today, Moses Moon.
It's me, Moses Moon.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey, man, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. You know how it be, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to jump right into it?
Let's do it. Let's go right. Let's get deep into it. Let's go.
Yeah. So, today, we are going to talk about She-Hulk Episode 2.
Le Doigt.
Well, what did you think of the episode?
To be honest, I thought it was a lot better than the first. There is intrigue. There is actual problems. Like now that, she's not getting her life perfect. In fact, that her actions had consequences. And I was like, okay, there's a balance. Conflict of interest with what's his name? Abomination.
Yeah.
And also it gave that little intrigue because that the aspect of like, well, didn't we see him in Shang-Chi? And then they made nod to that, and you're like, oh, okay, so they're gonna have to tie that in, and that means Doctor Strange, or Wong at least, is gonna get pulled into this. So that's fun. Nice to see Bruce Banner again, once again, being more intriguing with the Starship, that cruise liner. So it's like, okay, what's going on over there? So that'll be interesting. And also, I liked in that scene that little nod to the, that was so many years ago. I was a different person. Ha. Of course, we all know what that means. So to be honest, I actually gave me a lot more hope for the series in terms of it going forward. And I actually found myself enjoying this one quite a lot. Like, I don't think this will ever get a 10 out of 10 in my books, but it was definitely like a solid 6. Just definitely enjoyable and like, all right, I'm intrigued. Like, I'm hooked. I want to see what's going to happen.
Okay. Well,
what did you think?
I think I'm going to kind of shit and ruin your expectations.
Do it. Shit and ruin them. Do it.
So
I
first
dare
of all, yes, I do think that this episode is in fact better than the first episode.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I was probably right when it came to Bruce Banner. We'll probably see him for 1, maximum 2 more episodes in this show. So kind of looks like I'm right on that. So if I remember right, he goes to Sakari, something like that. They don't tell us where he goes, but I think.
You think he's going back?
Yeah, I think he's going back to where we
for his potential kid.
For his potential kid, yeah.
Oh my God.
So about Jennifer Walters, she is a hypocrite. She tells Bruce in the first episode that she doesn't need anyone to help her. She can control her anger and she doesn't need his help, and she's right and he's wrong. And this episode, we basically see, oh shit, I have all these problems going on and I don't know what to do. I should go to my dad. And what does her dad say? Basically, exactly what Bruce Banner told her. And she's like, you know what? This feels so good. I feel so relieved. I'm glad someone told me this. Like, you fucking bitch.
Fair enough. Also, let's not forget trauma shaming. Like, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm a woman. I fucking live through this every day. Don't forget, Bruce Banner was abused by his father.
Yes.
Like, did we forget that? Like, that he was abused and traumatized and witnessed the murder of his mother and all that goodness, and he had to live with that for all the stuff. Like, no, and I'm pretty sure that's general knowledge. Like, oh yeah, Bruce's father, freaking douchebag.
I can come and say like, oh, that could be a different universe Bruce Banner, but our Bruce Banner, that never happened to him. We can play that card because technically they never told us this Bruce Banner passed. So, but what we can basically say about our Bruce Banner that we know for a fact, since we met him for the first time at the first Avengers, dude, he went through a lot of shit. He even tells us, once you are a monster, you will always be declared a monster, no matter what. Even though the fact that he did save a lot of people, everyone still sees him as a monster. And he does tell this to Jennifer. And it's like,
Oh,
oh
we've seen
no.
it plenty of times when he destroyed that. Was it Ultron, Age of Ultron, where
Yeah,
in that African village, and he just fucking wrecks the city.
exactly. And over here, like your big problem is you being catcalled. So basically, your life is amazing, other than the
Uh-huh.
fact that people catcall you and womanize you.
Oh.
Oh my God, your life is so difficult.
Oh. Have you seen those good, like, the guys who catcall, but they're like positive things like, Mama, looks like you have a healthy credit score.
No,
Damn, girl, looks like you
no,
got a GED.
no, I haven't seen those things. You'll
Just
need to
search
send it.
positive catcalling on YouTube. You'll get plenty of stuff. It's very entertaining, very
I'll def-
wholesome.
I'll definitely do that. But
Mm.
anyways, what is interesting over here? So first of all, I think ever since Moon Knight, I'm not sure, but ever since Moon
Mm.
Knight, they've been hiding QR codes in the background on each episode.
What?
I don't
What
remember.
the hell?
I don't remember if I mentioned it on the first episode
For
we
your
did.
eagle-eyed viewers, fuck me.
So on the very first episode, when she walks into the ball, she goes to the bathroom. So in that hallway, you know, at some point you need to pause it. There's a QR code. You scan that QR code, you get a free comic of She-Hulk, just for the fun of it. So
Excuse me a moment.
in episode 2, while she's on the computer looking for a job because she was fired, you
Yeah.
know, okay, so she goes to her ball to celebrate or whatever for winning the case, but then the guy basically appealed the case because the jury was in
jury.
her favor because she saved them. So he
Well,
appealed.
that was we know that in the end that it wasn't like he knew she had them beat. It was just that his appeal was to, like any good lawyer, get them on their toes with a decent defense, being like, well, of course they're, she's fucking saved them. They're all in favor of her.
No, he does tell us that, yeah, you had a winning case, like good job for you. But as a lawyer, obviously they were in your favor, so I don't want to lose, so I'm gonna do this thing. So because of that, she gets fired, and now she's looking for a job. In the meantime, while she's looking for a job, she's on her computer, and over here we get 3 Easter eggs on the computer. Easter egg number 1: there is a QR code for a comic, so you can scan
Another
that.
one.
Easter number
Okay.
2: ever since Eternals, dude, at the end of the movie, you have a giant man coming out of the core of the planet, and somehow, ever since
No one
Eternals,
noticed.
no one talks about it. No one even mentions it. Not even in the news or something. Like nothing. And Eternals takes place in the year 2023. She-Hulk takes place in the year 2024, so a year later. So over here on the computer, there is like a link or an article, giant man out of the ocean, coming out of the ocean. They're like, okay, we know what that means.
Yeah.
And here is, so that is Easter egg number 2. And here is Easter egg number 3. And what most people are going like, oh my God, what is happening over here? So there's another link, like an article thing, and the headline is "A man with claws going rogue and going insane and does shit, whatever." I don't remember the exact headline, but it's basically
Wolverine reference.
Exactly, it's a Wolverine reference. Yeah. Like, are we gonna see Wolverine in this season or like later on?
Well, Wolverine was designed to fight the Hulk. That was one of his first appearances back when Hulk was gray. So
yeah. But no,
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
but we still have yet to get to Daredevil.
Yeah, we still yet to get to Daredevil. That we know for a fact we will see him later in the show. But this little Wolverine Easter egg that basically now confirms Wolverine is in our universe. We just don't know who is the actor, who's gonna portray
have
him.
3. Yeah.
So
We have 3 confirmed X-Men
yeah,
crossovers: the line and musical diddly from Miss Marvel, the appearance of Patrick Stewart as Xavier, and R.I.P. Multiverse of Madness, and I guess this reference. So,
yeah,
huh?
but
Interesting.
yeah. So
Interesting.
I'm very excited for that and to see what's gonna happen out of it. A side note, Marvel
Mm.
finally they have a they don't have a job opening, but they have officially have someone, and this is his job. His job is to make sure the timeline is correct, to make sure that the Marvel timeline is as it should be.
We should call
And
him the Time Lord,
no, that's
Doctor Humanus.
and the reason I'm mentioning this is because they fucked up the timeline in episode 2.
Oh, really?
Yes, they fucked it really, really bad.
How'd
So,
they fuck it up? I didn't
so
notice anything that would fuck things up.
this is it's surprising because I think I'm the only one who noticed this. They also fucked up something in the TV show Loki. So
Right?
okay, for this episode, what was a big fuck up? So we know this show takes place directly after Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings.
Mm-hmm.
In the after credits, if you remember, of Shang-Chi and Legends of the Ten Rings, we see
Yeah.
Bruce Banner still as a human with his arm injured.
Correct.
Correct. At episode 1 of She-Hulk, we see what happens to Bruce and why is he still a human and how she becomes She-Hulk. She
Mm-hmm.
does tell us a few months ago. So this happened in the past.
Yeah.
Now, episode 2, we see Abomination fighting, which in the pits, which takes place in the beginning of Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
the
don't see how that's a screw up, because there's the that it made sense to me because Wong probably, we don't know how he got out. We assume, my assumption is that Wong popped in, popped out, and put him back in, kind of deal. Like that's their arrangement, kind of deal.
no, how he
So
got
this would be
out,
past tense.
how he got out is not like my issue. My issue is when we see now in episode 2, he is in the fighting pits after she is the She-Hulk, and the
Mm-hmm.
after credits of Shang-Chi takes place way after that. And
Well, they said
according to that,
the line was that this video has emerged, meaning that it's past tense.
yeah, no,
So it doesn't matter when the fighting took place. It was already during, like, back to Shang-Chi time, because that's when it happened.
they said it. No, I think when she accepts the case, her new boss tells her, "Oh, good, look at the news. What's happening now?"
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And the line in the news is that videos have emerged of. So it's not that it's just that, remember, because all that was like darknet kind of shit, where they're filming, recording all this and broadcasting it,
Yeah.
and those got leaked.
Okay.
Just
So
supposedly at this time, so there's some bigger political intrigue or like things going on the shadow. She just got this case, and just so happened now that those videos are released. You know what I mean?
okay, that makes a lot more sense than because I didn't catch the when she
That's
said
how because I was listening to the it's in the news, like it's what the woman saying,
yeah.
the newscaster, she says that, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And that's where my mind went, because it's like, okay, it just so happens now that they're released, well, okay, and now there's something bigger that's going on, especially since like Abomination's been out of the eye of the public for a long time, but there's
Mhm.
still like people's opinions of him, but that's still like unsettled. But now, because the leak has gone through and they've seen him as his alter self, and not this frail old man, they're gonna have, that's gonna stir up the public opinion, and so it's gonna make her arguing for his parole to be much more difficult.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense because I did not catch that at all. I like what I just explained. That's how I understood it, and
Hmm.
I am gonna check, see that little scene again, and
Yeah.
hopefully she does say, videos were emerged, or but if she doesn't
Mhm.
say that, that's like, okay, here's a problem in the timeline you guys made.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say that 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 was okay. Is there any other inconsistencies with the timeline itself?
In general, in other movies, yes, and also other TV shows. In this show, not that I noticed, but I did notice a big problem in the very first episode of Loki.
Mm.
So I'm gonna talk about it. So we have
Do it.
Loki, and the Loki that we see in the TV show, it is Loki that took the Tesseract, and from 2012. So we have
Hmm.
Loki 2012, then we have Loki 2018, who Thanos kills, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so Loki 2018 is dead. Loki 2012 escapes. Then the TV series Loki begins. Then the
TVA. Yeah.
then the TVA comes and they take Loki 2012 Loki, and they show him his life through 2012 till his death 2018, and they
Yep.
tell him this is what's supposed to
That's the
happen.
line.
What you did was not supposed to happen. So then he says, well, why is this not supposed to happen? And yet the Avengers build up time machine, went back to time and change it, and that's okay. Now, that is a problem. How does he know that the Avengers went back in time and built a time machine if that happens in the year 2023? Loki of
I guess they
2018.
don't show him. Yeah, they don't show him beyond his death. That's a fair point of
Exactly.
view.
Loki of 2018 is dead.
He would
Loki
have
of
no idea.
no matter what, Loki should not know that the Avengers built a time machine and went back in time. And yet he tells
True.
us that he knows they did this. The reason why they tell us this is to tell the viewer, oh, why nothing happened to the Avengers? That was supposed to happen. What Loki did was not supposed to happen. It was just for that.
Right. No, I can accept that. Yeah, I never noticed that. I was like, because I already have that meta knowledge, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And then that's right, because that's what happened. And so, yeah, why couldn't the Avengers did? Oh, but yeah, no, Loki should definitely not have that information whatsoever.
So the TV show Loki came out like what, a year or 2 years ago, more or less, something like that.
Yeah.
Throughout this time period, I have not seen one person on social media explain this or even mention this. So from my knowledge, I am the only one who knows this. For my knowledge.
Should go to Reddit and be like, yo, I have an issue. Did anybody else notice? And see how
Yeah.
many people respond.
Yeah, I'll see. But anyways, so now because of this and other, well, not of this because no one mentioned this, but because they want to make sure the timeline is correct and there will be no issues. So now there's a guy who his job is to make sure the timeline is correct no matter what. So
Good luck. Timey-wimey stuff is difficult.
yeah, I will make sure you fuck up and I'll tell the world.
Yeah, basically. Jeez.
But anyways, back to She-Hulk. So she takes the case to take care of the Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And here, like the joke, like we said, they now explained why Bruce is a different Bruce. Now, my personal theory, I think, is way better than what they explained. So she calls Bruce and to basically tell him, I'm taking this case, and he tells her, like, it's been so long ago, 2008, and now it's the year 2024, so a long time now. Like, it's been so long ago, I'm a different person, literally.
Yeah.
So they basically, did a little joke over here.
Wink and nod.
Yeah, my personal theory, I think, is way better. We are now in the multiverse saga.
Mhm.
Can you just say that that movie, The Incredible Hulk, is a different universe, a different multiverse,
For sure. Why not?
a different
Same with
Hulk?
any of the Fantastic Four.
Exactly, it's a different Hulk. It's the Abomination doesn't look the same.
Mhm.
You can literally just say it's a different universe. It's a different, that's it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, we could even bring it back when in the first Hulk, the very
Mhm.
very first one,
Yes, 2005.
with Eric Bana,
Yeah.
Eric Bana, the Australian guy.
Hmm.
He and his father get into a bit of a tussle, and the amount of energy that is released, you know,
Yeah.
just a quick theory, whatever. Something could have happened. It was skies shifting, guys absorbing everything in the universe. You never know. I mean, obviously, the next movie after that was with what's his face. So was it?
Wakanda, Black Panther,
No, what are the Hulk movies like? There's Eric Bana,
Eric
and then
Bana,
the
and
other
Edward
Norton. Yeah,
Norton, and Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, so that's the three of them. The Hulk that was played by Edward Norton was supposed to be the
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 MCU.
actual MCU Hulk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But anyways,
shrugs.
yeah, I personally think my theory is makes more sense. But anyways,
Certainly
we
justifiable.
yeah. So Jennifer takes the new job, and her job is to be the head of the superhero committee, lawyer thing,
Yep.
and she takes the job just as we find out about Abomination being in the fight pits. And that
Indeed.
that could be like he tells us, oh no, I like do therapy, like self therapy, like whatever. That could be his self therapy. What does Wong have to do with this, and why did he take Abomination? That would be very interesting to find out. Like, why? What does Wong has to do?
I mean, I personally think it was a throwaway. I don't think they knew why. They just selected Wong and Abomination. Sure, why not? Just for fun. But I don't think it would nip them in the butt, so they kind of try and utilize it. I mean, we do know that Wong and Abomination's fights are, how would you say, farce in terms
Mhm.
that like they're in the same bed together kind of deal.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. We'll probably get a throwaway line that Wong was like noticed that Abomination just needed some inner healing, or like they reached out to him and then he's like, yeah, I can work on him, and then for funsies they heard about the
I,
ring or whatever.
I don't know if it was just for the fun of it, because let's not forget, Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme of this
Supreme, yeah,
universe,
indeed.
and
At this point,
so far in this saga, the multiverse saga, we see Wong almost in every project. We see him at the Eternals after credit or something like that. We see him at the Shang-Chi, and we see him now in She-Hulk. I think we saw him Spider-Man No Way Home.
mm-hmm.
I think we saw him Doctor Strange Multiverse of
Doctor
Madness.
Strange and Madness. Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, also the Miss Marvel. I don't remember, but we do. No, sorry, we don't see him at Miss Marvel, but
No,
we do see him in most of the
a
projects.
lot,
Well,
lots of cameos, lots of
yes.
money.
So it's interesting what is his deal with
Oh, he's not in
Abomination.
he's it's funny. He's not in the Eternals. However, the guy playing the Hercules type guy
Mhm.
looks a lot like him,
Yeah, he does.
which is unfortunate. And that's not just whatever. They just look similar, the two of them.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
the
brothers. I don't know.
yeah
I didn't look that up.
could be, could be. But what would you rate this episode?
Like, look, it's I think I said it's a solid 6 out of whatever, but like in the grand scale of things, because I don't know, I withhold and reserve any of my judgments until the end. But let's just say, as a whole, I'm rating this maybe like a 2 or 3 so far between the two episodes. because it's not wow and it's not really adding on, and I'm more interested in the side things that are going on. Like, okay, what's this thing with Abomination? It ties to a bigger picture. What's this thing with the Hulk? He's going somewhere. I can't wait for for Daredevil to appear. So her character isn't like, and her struggles aren't that important to me. They haven't like raised the stakes for me to actually have like, yeah, like I care for her or whatever. It's just like, nah, she has a lot of power and she has a big journey ahead of her. She's not at the hero archetype yet where she's accepted her calling and is going to be like, yes, because again, it's the thing where she's like, I don't want to be a superhero. It's like, okay, we understand you being a whiny bitch, but like, something inevitably is going to call you into the greater calling because, of course, it's that old adage, to whom much is given, much is required, with great power comes great responsibility, kind of deal. And when you have the power of the Hulk, it's you have to either choose to use it for good or not. You can't just be like, quote unquote, what Abomination was trying to say in the cell. He's like, I just want to live a normal life. It's like, nah, you're too big. Like, you gotta do something. Yeah, you got your account. You have to be accountable, and you have to be. Yeah. You have to do something for the greater good, kind of deal. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how she becomes heroic.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Continue.
I was just gonna say, however, we are learning, like, this second episode, the more about her version of the Hulk, like when she enacts her control and she's clearly pounded a few and she goes back to her normal self and all that alcohol hits her. That was funny, but it's also kind of key because it's like,
She only drank, I think I noticed this. She only drank like 2 glasses of alcohol. It's like, that's it. That's what you take gets you drunk. I can drink more than that.
Yeah, remember, women have different alcohol tolerances and they have smaller bodies. So
yeah, it's all true. But anyways, I do believe we got to the end of this episode. I am your host, Joel. With me today, Moses is the Moon.
That's me.
I'm going to put all the links down in the bio for My Hebrew Podcast, Moses' Instagram, radio, links, and give us 5 stars.
Your money.
Give us your money. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and everywhere else you can listen to. Until then, we'll meet you guys on the next episode of Spoilers, obviously.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.